Welcome to my channel. My name is Matsuda, and if this is your first time, I'm a fourth grade teacher, and this is a place where we can together learn how to be better literacy and mathematics teachers for our students. But today's lesson is just a fun lesson that will instantly make your students feel smarter about themselves, and who doesn't want that? One of the comedians that wonderful Stanley and I enjoy is Jimmy Kimmel. And he will often go out on the street. Well, he doesn't do it himself. He sends people to ask them questions to see what they know. So this is going to be a chance for you to also teach your students about digital literacy. But I'm going to lay out the entire lesson for you, and then you can do it with your students this week if you would like. So I started by saying, boys and girls, I want you to take out a piece of paper or a whiteboard and just write the answer to these questions down. The first one is, who was the first president of the United States? Who wrote the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin? How many world wars did the U.S. fight? Who fought the Civil War of the United States? What happened on D-Day? What year was the war of 1812? Marie Antoinette is famously said to let them eat blank. And at this point, they started asking me, is there something about these questions? Is there something that they have in common? And then they started to giggle because they could sense that something fun was coming. And then, what do the initials LBJ stand for? Of course, they won't know that one because that one happened in the 1960s. So that one was a wash. And then there was another question that is going to be asked on the video. Who shot Hitler? And I just muted that section because our president was mentioned by name, and I just didn't want to have them hear anything disparaging about our president in any way. So I just muted that question. All right, then I asked them a spelling question. How do you spell the word restaurant? And then 2 math questions. Actually 3. In the Pentagon, how many sides are in the building of the Pentagon? What are the first 3 digits of pi? And then how do you spell pi, the mathematical pi? And then I said, all right, now that you've answered these questions, I'm going to show you some random people being asked these questions. And this is where the digital literacy came in. I said, we have no way of knowing how many people were asked these questions. All we're going to see is wrong answers, incorrect answers. And why aren't we going to see any of the people who answered the questions correctly? Because that's not entertaining. That's not funny in any way. But watching people struggle and stumble over these seemingly simple questions that they should know is hilarious. So we really got to talk about that. And I said, when we see things, we need to always think that this is not an accurate representation. There are probably dozens and dozens of people who got this right. And what we see makes it look like all these people are ignorant when that really isn't the case. So, and I don't know how often students are getting lessons on digital literacy like this, but I think it's very important for them to be introduced to these things. So then I said, now we're going to watch some random people being asked these very same questions, and I knew that they would lose their minds because they know, with the exception of, I didn't know if they would know about Marie Antoinette and LBJ. I knew they knew this material. So we started. Now, wonderful Stanley is going to give you the link to the video, and will you tell them what number it starts at? It starts at minute 10 and 40 seconds, and you'll see a big picture that says history. So we began, and none of the people that they asked, of course, knew the answers, and they were, I can't believe it. What? They don't know this. And you could just see them feeling so much smarter. And then it came to the question of how to spell restaurant. And most of the students said, I didn't get it right. I don't know how to spell restaurant. And I paused and I said, but do your parents know how to spell restaurant? Because these were all adults that were being asked these questions. And they said, yes, my parents know. And I said, so see, we do have that one covered too. And then there was a little math, a frame will come up about math. And I knew they would lose their minds because we've studied shapes, we've studied pi. They know this. I mean, come on, Greta knows 98 digits of it, and Naomi knows 113 digits of pi. And they all know how to spell pi. But these people that they showed surely didn't. So at the conclusion, they were just so happy and feeling so intelligent. I said, I want to ask you a very simple question. How many books do you think these individuals read? They're like, oh, probably none. I said, I bet you that the majority of these people have not read. Wonderful Stanley likes to add, oh, they read social media. I said, why do we read books? Because it's fun, because it's wonderful. And I said, yes, but we read also because we want to learn about the world and to become smarter. This is why we read. And this is why you're not going to stop reading when you leave me this year. This is why you are going to be a lifelong reader. And they all kind of made that commitment like, yes, this is important that we read, because it was very evident that these individuals are not people who are likely reading very much. It was just a really fun little break in our day and a chance to let them see how much they know compared to a lot of people. And I hope that you might have fun with it with your students this week too. I'll see you next week, and thank you for being here. I'm Janine Matsuda. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget
to like and subscribe!